produced and distributed by the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws in Washington, D.C., this is your NORML Daily Audio Stash, the growing truth about cannabis. Today's Daily Audio Stash, we've got a couple of interviews for you. First, we've got Michael Crawford from Boston, Massachusetts. He's a director with NORML and also the musical director of the Boston Freedom Rally, the largest hemp fest on the East Coast. He's here to tell us about how some of the cities and towns throughout the state of Massachusetts are trying to get around Massachusetts Question 2, which passed with 65% of the vote. Michael will give us the details in our first interview. We're going to go all the way back to the East Coast now and take a look at what's happening in the great state of Massachusetts. As you know, Massachusetts passed Question 2, which is decriminalization, and passed it by quite a large margin. You'd think the police there would get the hint that the people want some change, but apparently law enforcement and the politicians have some other things in mind. Joining us to talk about it is a member of the board of directors from NORML, Michael Crawford, and also with the Boston Freedom Rally. And Michael, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Russ. Thanks for having me.
First of all, let's just let everyone know that they want to get information on what's happening in cannabis news there in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Check out masscan.org. That's MASSCANN.org. And then the Boston Freedom Rally, the biggest hemp fest on the East Coast, is available now at bostonfreedomrally.com. And Mike, I understand you're the musical director there for the Boston Freedom Rally.
That's correct. And we've got some great bands.
Excellent. I look forward to getting out there one of these days and attending the Freedom Rally. But I wanted to talk to you today about these end runs around Question 2 that seem to be popping up here in the state of Massachusetts. Let our listeners know, what's the background here and what's going on.
All right. Basically, we voted in November. 65% voted yes on Question 2 to decriminalize marijuana. $100 fine, $100 civil fine. And what you have is a group of Democrats run basically by the Attorney General and somewhat supported by the Governor's office through the district attorneys and the police chiefs in certain towns. About 10% of the towns, they're trying to overturn what we voted for 65%.
Now, it's not a question of them trying to, actually get rid of the law. It's more like they're trying to add little things onto it.
You basically, what we voted on was a $100 civil fine. 65% voted for that, for marijuana possession, which was always declared if you were smoking outside, if you had it, in your possession. And now they're basically trying to say for certain types of offenses, if you're smoking outside, it's a $700 or $1,000 fine and arrestable. Where certain people are going to think it's not arrestable and it's not a criminal offense. In most towns, it won't be. So that, there's certain towns that are going hardline. And they're doing it they're trying to do it through the media and without actually asking for the 65% to, have a seat at the table, without public discussion. And, there are certain towns, what we're seeing now is that a lot of the city councils are listening to us. And we're starting to win this, but the media and the police are still, every day you see a new article in a newspaper. And they're making statements that we're finding that are untrue because a lot of the city councilors are listening to us. And what we're seeing is we're seeing a lot of young people come out to these hearings. And we have one this Tuesday in Braintree, Massachusetts. We're basically doing a march from the T station, the MBT train station, to City Hall, 6 p.m. on Tuesday night. So, that's what's been going on. Quincy, we had a number of people come out. They shut down discussion. They tabled the ordinance. In Methuen, we had a rock band that, one of our headliners at the Freedom Rally came down. There was, a couple front page stories between them and the mayor. And the mayor, basically gave us a lot of concessions. He basically offered a compromise. He dropped it down from a $400 additional fine to $100, narrowed down where it would actually be in the city, schools, parks, So basically he gave us a much better proposal. And that still has to be voted on. And if you look in the Boston Globe today, one of the city councilors actually is siding with us now. So you're already seeing that. A lot of the city councilors do see that 65% are not happy with this, and that's what you're seeing in the hearings.
Yeah, and I'm just wondering, legally speaking, what's their justification for being able to change that? Because I thought Question 2 was pretty clear that there would be no other penalty but a $100 fine. How are they justifying it?
Well, apparently you can have local and city law for certain infractions. And, on some of the, like public drinking is a $50 usually city fine. You know, and so we have $100 civil fine, and they're basically saying that for marijuana, for use, any use. And now they're saying there's no way that we can stop people from smoking in public, but there's a $100 civil fine. It's twice as much as for alcohol. There's already a penalty, and they're just basically trying to jack up that penalty and make it criminal.
Yeah, and you know what I always found kind of ironic when question 2 was going through the process in the election here is how law enforcement would say, well, you don't need question 2 because when we catch people for pot, we never arrest them anyway. We just make them throw it away. And so now when we set a law that basically does that, now they're complaining. I just don't understand.
Exactly. And then you know, when you hear them come back, they say, well, we had the discretion. We don't have the discretion now. And it's, you know, they had the discretion on me, and I got arrested, and I'm a medical user. And all I was doing was speeding. I wasn't under the influence. I just had it in my car, you know? And that's the way it goes sometimes. You run into the officer that's a hard line on it, and he's going to arrest everyone he comes across. And, you know, with these new rules, they're talking $700 to $1,000 fine. And that is, you know, just overkill for... There's no 17-year-old kid who's going to be able to pay that back. The parents are going to pay that back.
Exactly.
And I think that negates the whole thing where a kid pays back the $100 and feels the economic hit himself.
Good point. Good point.
There's no reason to have a $1,000 fine.
Now, you had mentioned how there's going to be a march, a rally in Braintree. Why don't you give the instructions on that?
We're excited. Yeah, we had a huge turnout in Quincy. You know, it's unbelievable that a lot of artists are coming out, different groups. It's like a leaders list movement is what I'm calling it. And what you're seeing right now is that they're coming out to Braintree. 6 p.m., there will be a march from the Braintree T-stop, which is a short walk through to City Hall. And, you know, there's going to be a lot of people with signs, and they're going to be, you know, waving the signs to traffic, and then they're going to go into City Hall, and they're going to, you know, speak on the ordinance.
That's great to hear.
They're proposing, I believe it's an additional $700 fine.
Oh, yeah. It's just crazy, and I'm sure everyone can get the details on this out at masscan.org. Is that right?
That's it.
Okay. Now,
masscan.org and bostonfreedomrally.com.
Excellent.
And
now,
also a couple Facebook groups, so check those out as well.
Oh, okay. Good. We'll have links to all of that up on our blog at stash.normal.org. And in other developments there in Massachusetts, I'm wondering, is anyone proposing or going forward with anything on the medical marijuana side in Massachusetts?
Absolutely. MassCan NORML right now is drafting a bunch of letters to follow up with the legislators. Some of them have been in support of us, and we're actually, over the last few years, we've noticed, you know, as the support's going up with the public, we're also seeing the same thing in the hearings in the legislature. And now that we won, we think it's going to shore up, you know, the people that have ever supported us before, as well as add to new people. And we're telling them that if they don't put something up, do you want someone from out of state to fund a question and write the language, or do you want to write it? Because it's going to pass either way. We have a ballot initiative. The people want this. It's very popular. I mean, we get 80% support for medical in Mass.
I really like the idea of kind of threatening the legislators, like you write the law you want, or we'll write one for you. That's a great way of framing the issue, I think.
And that's absolutely what's going to happen. And that's our message to them.
Great. That is like, give us 6 ounces or we'll fight for 24. Something like that. Well, that's great to hear. Michael Crawford is on the board of directors of MassCan NORML out there in Boston, Massachusetts. Also the musical director of the Boston Freedom Rally. Check it out at bostonfreedomrally.com. Hey, what's the date of the Freedom Rally coming up this year?
It's Saturday, September 19th. It's always the third Saturday in September, high noon, Boston Common. High noon, Boston Common. I sure hope I can make it out this year. And Michael, we'd love to have you. Oh yeah, Michael, and you guys, thanks for giving us the award for the podcast last year. We appreciate that a lot too. Yeah, we love the NORML podcast. Oh, we love the Boston Freedom Rally, man. Take it easy, Michael Crawford. Thanks for joining us. Thanks, Russ.